Welcome back to the baseline. Uh, we are finally doing our long-awaited top 10 World Series games. And joining me as always is Craig and Al. And guys, you guys ready to talk some World Series games?
Yeah, you know it, Jordan. Thanks for having us as always. Very excited. And yeah, this is going to be a fun one, man. This is going to be a really interesting one. And can't wait to dive in and see where we all land here.
Absolutely, totally agree. I am ready to go. I'm excited for this one. We were talking offline that this one might be the one that we have the most diversity on one list that we've done so far because this was not easy to research at all.
Absolutely, my man.
It, yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. Also I mentioned on air World Series, a lot of great moments in the World Series, a lot of big moments. So I think this is probably going to be one of the fun ones that we've done, just because there's so many memorable games. In my opinion, I think it was hard to leave some games off, but that's the beauty of this list.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And it's again, it's one of these no wrong answer ones because it's our opinion of what the best game was. You know what I mean? So it's it'll be fun to see and yeah, like Craig said, there wasn't a lot of other research out there to draw from. So we are just coming in with our opinions of 10 different games over 100+ years. So this is going to be fun to see how different we are.
I agree. Yes. All right.
Alrighty.
Well. Oh,
No, I
all
just said
right.
right there with you. Yep, we're all good.
Nice.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's get started. And I mentioned off air that I found one list, and I'm surprised this wasn't in the top 10. So, knowing me, I had to put it in my top 10, um, just because it gave us probably one of the most iconic plays in history. I'm going game one of the 54 World Series between the Giants and, well, now the Guardians, which gave us the Willie Mays play.
Mm, I definitely considered that one just because of that play. That's awesome.
Yes, I did too. I did not. I had it on my honorable mentions. I did not have it on my actual list though, but I did definitely consider that game. And yeah, I mean that is an iconic play that 100 years from now they're still going to be replaying.
Yeah, one of the most iconic plays in the history of the game.
Yep,
Period.
yep. And just on that one play, it deserves to be at least mentioned. And no problem at all with it being on your list.
100%, man. That's a great one.
Yeah, just because it's like you guys said, it's still played to this day. We still see highlights of it to this day. Um, and yeah, it's just like I said, one of the most iconic plays in World Series history. So I did definitely had to make my list, just from an iconic figure alone to make that play.
I love that. I'm glad that game made the list because yeah. I mean, that's an image. Any baseball fan has that image in their head forever. I've tried to recreate that in my backyard a million times when I was a kid.
Yep.
Oh, the pine trees, the center field wall. I probably cracked my face on it a few times trying to be Willie Mays.
uh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean
So
it's Willie frickin' Mays, so that's really all you need to say.
Perfect.
uh, yep. That's the what game one of 54. The Willie Mays plays is going to start off my list.
Beautiful. Good start, man.
Fantastic.
Really good start. Craig, you want to take it next?
Let me see what I got here. My number 10. Okay, well, I'm going to 2016. Cubs game 7.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I
Great.
mean, 108 years they waited, so that was a big deal. And Cleveland was up 3-1 in the series, and they came all the way back and then took it to 10 innings in game 7
Yes.
Yep.
and won that thing. And the whole Bartman and all that was all hail
Yes.
into all that and everything too. So it was. It was excellent, and I like that was one of my favorite teams. That was one of my favorite non-Yankee teams was the Cubs that year.
That's an awesome one too, man. Yeah, these are all these first two you brought up are all ones I considered. I didn't make a giant, like I told you off air. I didn't make a giant honorable mention list this time because I could have gone to a 50, and I have a hard time stopping myself, so I just stopped early this time. But this is an awesome one. It is killer. Definitely could have been on any list.
Yep, I just figured the because it was the Cubs, it meant even more. But I mean,
No doubt.
Game 7 going to the 10th inning of any series is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for real.
Game
Game
7
seven
of
and extra innings.
Game 7 extra innings of the World Series, all of them have to be at least considered.
Yeah, first win for a franchise in what was it, 108 years or whatever, something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. And I'm not
Yep,
gonna lie, that
108 years. They last time was 1908, and they went
Man,
2016.
yeah, that I mean that clearly is a killer one for this list. Jordan, you have anything to add on this one? I keep talking. Sorry.
no, you're good. No, I was just saying they also had the great team to do it. Like that was a
Oh,
fantastic team.
And the
Well, I
old
think that
man
was
Ross, remember David Ross, the
yes,
gray beard playing
yep.
in the
yes.
World Series?
They
Yeah,
I think what I think that was also correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was what Bryant's first year too, right?
was
Oh
it?
wow,
I
Uh,
want to say that I
did
believe that
not
was
remember that, but it does sound right-ish.
Chris Bryant's first year. They had Anthony Rizzo, Baez, Schwarber. Yeah, they had all these stars, and
Moises Alou.
yes.
Oh yeah, PP hands.
Oh, oh my God! They also had I don't remember why he's not in the big leagues anymore, but that shortstop, um, Russell, Addison Russell. They had.
Oh, that's
Oh
right.
yeah,
Yep,
I
they had.
forgot it when he was the second coming. That's right.
Yep, they had him. They had Hayward. Uh,
Zobrist.
yep, Ben Zobrist, John Lester. That's a name
Oh
from him.
man,
John Lackey. Uh,
man,
yeah, they had. But
Lackey.
that was the
John
year they
Lackey when he
also.
was good.
Jake
Yes,
Arrieta.
yes. Oh my God. Yeah, they had such a great team. Even that was also the year that I knew my dad got pissed because that was they used Aroldis Chapman every single game, and then he signed with the Yankees right after. Um,
Never to be the same again.
so So yeah, there was a, but yeah, it was an iconic game. Like I remember where I was too. Like my family took a trip to Disney, and my dad and I watched that game from start to finish because we're like, something's gonna happen. One of these teams who haven't won in a very very long time is gonna win this ball game.
Yep.
Man, that's awesome. And I appreciate your family's priorities even while on a trip like that. Right in line with mine.
But yeah, that was such a that's gonna go down as one of the greatest Cub, like one of the greatest Cub teams, just because it was so memorable.
No doubt.
So that's
Uh,
my number 10. So, Al, your number 10.
All right. Well, this one might be on your list. I could not put it any higher than number 10, but it did have to be on my list. And I apologize to all my Philly fans for bringing this one up, but this is the Joe Carter game.
Oh, geez.
10/23/93, the date that will be etched in my brain forever. It is I mentioned this last pod. I think this is the only season I ever watched every inning of every game. And just things lined up like right for me in my life that time. This is still my favorite team, even over the World Series winning teams. You know, they any World Series team winning ever. This is the one for me. And it hurts to bring it up, but it was an unbelievable game. It was a weird World Series. It was all over the place. And Joe Carter put a knife in the hearts of all Philly fans, and Mitch Williams' giant stride, and the okay, so I just want to walk you through the bottom of the ninth. The Phillies are up 6-5. Mitch Williams comes in. No surprise, walks, guess who? Ricky Henderson.
Yep.
Then Devon White flies out. Paul Molitor, who's 100 years old at this point and still freaking awesome, singles. You got one out, runner on first and second. Count goes 2-0, then 2-2, and then everybody knows the rest. Joe Carter parks it over the left field fence. Game over.
Series over, and one of the most iconic calls I remember is
Hmm.
touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run.
That's right. And who was that? Do you
I don't
remember?
know. It
Ah,
it wasn't
Costas or one of them.
yeah, it wasn't Joe Buck no.
Yeah, that's a good one though, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I think I might have thrown my something through the TV by then and missed that call.
Oh,
Um,
touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run, and that's absolutely true because when you're in the backyard, like you said before about playing in the backyard and stuff, what are you dreaming of? Oh, winning the World Series, hitting a home run to win the World Series.
yeah.
100%, Craig. That's perfect, man. Yes,
That's exactly what he did, and that's crazy.
Uh,
absolutely. Go ahead,
yeah.
Jordan.
No, say so. The announcer, I actually just looked him up,
Oh,
was
good.
Tom Tom Cheek, Cheek.
Oh,
Really, he's the one who said touch 'em all, Joe.
Yep.
old Tommy Cheeks. How about that?
Wow. By the way, this
Good find.
talk about diversity in our list. This is on my list. This is number 2.
See, now I had a feeling it would be higher for people, but I just couldn't bring myself to put it any higher. I
So
understand that it's number 2
actually,
for sure.
Al, I'm actually gonna because it is on my list too, but that was actually my number 9.
Okay, so we have a 10, a 9, and a 2. This is how this list is
Yeah.
going to go, right?
Right. Right.
So
Well, like I said, but when win the World Series, the bottom of the or bottom of the 10th inning, right, or ninth inning.
I believe it was a ninth. Yeah, bottom
Oh
of
yeah,
9.
bottom of the ninth inning, hit a home run to win the World Series. To me, like I said, that's what you dream of in the backyard. So for that, I don't really see a bigger moment other than there's one other one, obviously, because I have it number 2. But for me, that trumped everything else.
Man, I love it. I get it 100%. And there's just no way as a Philly fan I was going to put it any higher, but I had to put it on the list.
Well, my number 9 is in that exact same same
That vein.
vein.
Oh, and hey, listen, I have one last little tidbit about this one before we move on. I thought this was priceless. In 2023, Joe Carter gets a call from his daughter from an airport. All right. She called him to tell him that she saw someone wearing a quote, Joe Carter ruined my childhood t-shirt.
oh, that's awesome.
So Philly has not let that one go.
That
And
is
that's it
awesome.
for me on Joe Carter, man. If you guys have anything else or want to move on.
Oh, no, that's actually that's just so cool.
I've never seen one of those shirts. I thought that was priceless. It made me laugh.
The only thing that could make that better was if it was Game 7,
Totally, 100%.
because it was Game 6, but it still was big, huge, obviously.
Completely agree. Absolutely. Perfectly put.
Yeah, I agree.
All
All
right.
right. You want to go to your next one, Jordan?
Uh, well, my number 9 was your number 10, Al.
Oh, you did say that. My bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, you're good. It's all good.
All
So,
right. You want to go to Craig then?
yeah, we'll
Is
go.
that how you want to do that? Cool.
Okay, well then my number 9, and it probably could be on your list and can be much higher, but for the same reason, I'm not going to put it any higher than number 9. Is Luis Gonzalez 2001 Game 7? Yankees lose 3-2 to Arizona.
Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That is not on my list, but that was a tough one to keep off.
Well, just
Uh,
because it was Mariano, and you figured there's no way they were going to beat Mariano.
Exactly. No, I'm
yeah.
with you 100%, man. That's does he have another balloon save in the postseason? Like,
He has
the,
he blew one. He blew against Boston a couple years later.
okay,
But like literally, you could count him on one hand how many blown saves he has in the postseason. And in the World Series, I think that's the only one in the World Series.
that's amazing, man.
He
And
didn't.
yes, and that alone makes it deserving of this list for sure.
I was say he didn't blow one in '03 against Miami.
Did he? Oh,
I
three. He might have. Yeah, he might have.
Yeah, because I know Miami won that one, but yeah, we won't get that much into it. Um, yeah, no, no, that one didn't make my list either, but that is such an iconic game.
Yep.
Um, it's
Yep.
just
How about this? I have another game on here that I considered for the list and it didn't quite make it. It might be on one of your lists in that same series.
Oh,
I think I know which one you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, if you guys are saying, oh, and you're not sure, then I'm going to take the chance that it's not on your list, and I'm
no,
going to
it's definitely not on mine. Go for it.
Mr. November.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Another
Yep,
one I considered for sure. Yep,
Yep,
the
when
Jeter
that
game. Yep.
that
Jeter
was
hit that home run, and that was also to, I think, go to game five. I don't remember
yes,
the scenario, but yeah, I mean, he hit a home run after midnight on October 31st, and they call him Mr. November.
That's a great one. And a little funny side note about that is it's how far baseball's schedule with the addition of games and TV and everything has come. Much longer the season has. One of my the games on my list has a game 7 that took place on October 10th.
Right, right. Well, the
I
thing
love it.
is,
And
this year it was because of 9/11.
yeah, that's
yes,
right.
The
yep.
Jeter was because of 9/11. They missed
Oh
them.
my
They missed
God, I
what
didn't
was
even
it,
think about that. That's right.
9 or 10 games or something. They had us. They pushed everything back.
Which, by the way, makes that also just one of the most iconic series ever.
Right, right, right. Get back to normalcy and all that stuff. And
Yep.
also I had something on the tip of my tongue, and of course now I lost it. Boy, getting old. Jeez, I can't remember now.
All good, man.
Yeah, go ahead, keep talking. If I remember, I'll let you know.
Right on, right on. Very cool.
No, yeah, just like yeah, like basically like you guys said, because of 9/11, makes it memorable that the Yankees were in that World Series. I think it probably been more memorable if they actually did back to back Subway Series, but they didn't. But yeah, just to even have a New York team be represented in the World Series, I think makes that whole World Series alone memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Um,
huge. I remember what I was going to say. The November thing now, they pushed it back 10. Yeah, they pushed back 10 games in 2011 or 2001 to get to November in the World Series. Now, right now, like you were just talking about, Al, if Game 7 happens in the World Series nowadays, it actually is in November
Yeah, isn't
schedule.
that wild? And it's the same schedule, it's the same amount of games. It's not like we're talking in 1902 here, you know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
right.
Same amount of games. They just give more days off, and they just expand it out more. And now, if you go all the way to Game 7 of the World Series, it's scheduled to be in November.
Yeah, and that's something we also have to keep in mind as baseball, as I always affectionately call it, baseball nerds, with postseason stats. Because when you look at pitching, especially, these guys are getting a lot more time off to reload.
Well, that and also in hitting too. Like I think he either has the record or close to the record. The most postseason home runs is Bernie Williams.
Really,
I
that's
think
Wow.
amazing.
so. I think so.
Wow. And
Not
yeah,
not World Series. World Series, I think is Mickey Mantle, but
but postseason,
postseason, I think he's got like 13.
man. Yeah, Bernie, well, we talked about that once on the pod before. I won't go off on it too much, but definitely, I think pretty easily the most underrated guy of that Yankees era dynasty.
Yeah, they talk about the Fab Four for them, and it was really a Fab Five with Bernie in it too, because he wasn't
Yeah.
part of the quote unquote Fab Four.
Craziness. Craziness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff, man. All right. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, number 9 for me, and this is kind of one of my good friends is a Cleveland fan, and this one hurt him like the Joe Carter one hurt me. And it stuck in my brain forever, and it was a hell of a game. So I made it number 9 on my list, and that is 1997, the Cleveland then Indians versus the Florida Marlins, 3-2 in 11 innings. And this is in his mind, forever, this is the Jose Mesa game. where a lot of people in Philly, it's the Mitch Williams game instead of the Joe Carter game.
Right. It's the Edgar Renteria game.
That's what everybody knows it as. There's an entire write up on it on Saber about the game, of course, and it's under the Edgar Renteria hits the walk off single in the 11th.
Yeah, with a play at the plate. I mean, yeah, it doesn't get much bigger.
That was beautiful. Did this one make either of your lists, by the way?
Made my honorable mentions.
Nice, Jordan.
Yeah, they did not make my list. No.
Right on. So many. It's funny, man. That's great because so many good games and they're all cool. Um, One interesting thing about this one is from our batting stance thing we did some recently.
Yes.
Uh, Craig Counsell was in this last. He was heavily involved in this last inning. It was Alou. Who's P Hands Alou? Which is it?
Is it Moises?
Moises. Thank you. Yes, famously peed on his hands to give himself better calluses and didn't use batting gloves. Um,
Yep.
Charles Johnson, and then a Craig
Oh, yes, the
Counsell.
third baseman who struck out 1,000 times a season.
Yeah, yeah.
Charles
And
Johnson
then
was complete dog ass. He was not good. I was surprised he was on that team all year because he sucked.
oh, that's great, man. And then Council hit a sac fly to tie it. And then we had the Renteria thing. That was earlier. And then that's how they tied it off of Jose Mesa in the ninth. And
Nice.
then you had the Renteria walk off with the play at the plate, like you talked about, man. It was a hell of a game. Tony Fernandez was in that game. He was one of my favorite, not talked about players enough. I love Tony Fernandez back when he played. He was the one that gave Cleveland the lead early with a 2-run single. Al Leiter and Jarrett Wright were the starters.
That's right, Al Leiter. Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh.
Just go ahead, Jordan, please.
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say yeah. That was definitely one of the best things. Also, I could see why your friend is mad because that was a great Cleveland team. Um.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
That
what?
was
What?
Albert Bell. Albert Bell, right?
Yeah, I can run you down. I think Bell
Um.
was gone by then.
I remember it was what Manny, Tommy. Um.
Omar Vizquel, Tony
Yeah.
Fernandez,
Lofton.
David Justice.
What about Lofton?
Let's see if Lofton was. He wasn't in this game. Marquise Grissom was the center fielder. He might have been platooning with Grissom, maybe, but he didn't start this game. Um, Sandy Alomar Jr. was a catcher. Matt Williams, third base.
Wow.
I mean, this is just everybody like if you just run down the batting order, it was Omar Vizquel, Tony Fernandez, Manny Ramirez, David Justice, Matt Williams, Sandy Alomar Jr., Jim Thome, Marquise Grissom.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like that Marlins team was also really good, which makes it very a very good series. Also the one and only which I still can't believe it, the one and only World Series win by Jim Leland, which to me is insane that he only has one World Series. Um,
I'm with you, Jordan. He's one of my favorites ever.
yeah, and yeah, but that was just I still remember the play. Like even when we were talking about it, the Edgar Renteria and the play at home. That's such an iconic moment to win.
No doubt. And this is the year I saw that no hitter that I think that Kevin Brown pitched. It was 97. Yeah, I double checked that. And so I know for a fact that Jim Leland was smoking in the dugout during this World Series. Isn't that? That's just bonkers to think about, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, shoot. All
that's good.
right. Number 9 for me.
All right. So my number 8 is probably one of the best World Series games I've seen in a long time. Um, and that's 2011 Game 6 between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Texas Rangers. And I'll go down, try to set up as best as I can the setting. But it was the Rangers led the series 3-2, holding the lead in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. St. Louis is down to their last strike when David Freese hits a
David
game
Freeze. That's right.
tying triple off into right
Oh,
field. And then in the 10th inning, Josh Hamilton homers.
Hamilton. Wow.
So they're up again. Lance Berkman, blast from the past, hits a game tying single with 2 outs. So then we go to the 11th, where it's all tied up. We have a 3-2 count, bottom of the 11th. And who's up to bat? David Freese hits a walk-off home run into center field to take it to a game 7 when St. Louis actually wins it. And because it was in St. Louis, I remember the call. It was Joe Buck who did his father's signature call. We will see you tomorrow night.
Right,
Ah.
right. When he did it with the Twins.
Yep.
Yep, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's a great one. I remember David. That's basically the David Freeze series.
Yes.
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 He didn't have much of a career other than that, but he has that one series, and he'll be remembered forever for it.
That's a good one. And really, you laid it out really well. That was nice. Very nice. Yeah, I remember that one for sure. The David Freeze series. That's perfect, Craig. That is it. Yeah. And if you had told me when Josh Hamilton was at his peak that there would be a play about that they rapped about a forefather that would be more remembered than him at this point when he was at his peak, I would have told you were crazy.
Yeah,
But
Yep.
the play wins.
Josh Hamilton had 6 RBIs in that game.
Holy mackerel.
Yep. And I don't remember what game it was, but I
Oh,
also
I'm sorry.
remember.
In that series, in the series, he had 6 RBIs
Oh, and 3 in that game.
and 3 in that game. Yeah,
Yep.
I apologize. Yep.
No, no
Oh,
worries.
you're
No
good.
worries.
And I also think I want to say that's also the same series where Pujols hit 3 home runs as well. I don't remember what game, but I want to say he hit 3 home runs in a game tying what Ruth and Jackson.
Oh man, and one of my favorite players ever that wasn't a Philly was on that Cardinal team, Lance Berkman,
Oh yeah,
Yep. That
who by the way went 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 4 runs in that game. Must have been on base a lot for Freeze.
yeah,
yeah.
Berkman.
Yep.
That
Berkman, Molina, Carpenter, Rainwright.
Matt Holliday.
Yeah, I forgot Mahaly was on the Cardinals.
They went with who started this game?
I have it. Lewis for the Rangers. I'm blanking on first name, and Garcia for the Cardinals. I remember him, but I can't remember his first name.
Jaime?
Jaime.
Jaime.
Yep.
Yep, that's right.
And,
Jaime Garcia.
and
Garcia. He only went 3 innings.
yes, yeah,
Yep.
man. Now
He gave up.
he
He gave up 2 runs, and he had the quick hook.
yeah, big time quick hook. Yeah, man. And who's Lewis for the Rangers? I'm blanking. Oh, Colby Lewis. Okay,
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
Colby Lewis. How about that? Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, these are all great. This is awesome because a lot of the ones that aren't on my list, some of them I've considered. This one I didn't, and this is a great one. I love this.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
All
Uh,
right, where does that take us here?
so, Craig, you're number 8?
Okay, number 8. Let me get to it here. Okay, also probably might be, it could definitely be higher on your list than what I have it, but I hate them, so it's only going up to number 8, and that is Carlton Fisk, 1975, Game 6. I think we all know it, bottom of the 12th inning, and he's trying to get the ball to stay fair, and he's doing it with the arms as he's going up the first baseline. I think everybody knows that or has
No
seen
doubt.
that.
Again, it's almost as iconic. It's right there with the Willie Mays catch for iconic moments in baseball history,
Yeah,
Yeah.
whenever any kind of montage they show about the World Series, it's in there.
for sure.
I believe that Yeah, it was game 6. So it went to game 7 and they lost anyway. Haha. Um, and it,
Awesome. Ah, that was awesome.
but yeah, it is definitely an iconic moment. And yeah, that image of Carlton Fisk just trying to will the ball to stay fair, going up the baseline is the reason why I picked this one. And it's a pretty dramatic home run. I mean, the placement and it's much better described and the movie Goodwill Hunting, if either of you know that.
I was going to bring that up. I had notes. I have a note about that. That's awesome. You brought that up, and it is an anybody that hasn't seen it, it's broken out on YouTube. I'm sure you can find it real easy. It's between Robin Williams and Matt Damon, and it is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Robin Williams
So good.
apparently had tickets to the game, and he's describing it and everything, and all the people going bonkers. And then at the end, he's like, but I didn't go." he gave
Yes,
the
and
he gave the ticket back because he had to go see about a girl.
what it was is he met his future wife in the bar, and then the last bit of the little bit of the scene, because I went and watched it again after reading, because I've seen that movie. I like that movie, but I haven't seen it since the '90s probably. And the end of it was Matt Damon says, because he's giving him crap, Robin Williams' character, the whole time about how could you miss the game? How could you miss the game? And Robin Williams was making the point, bro, I met the love of my life. It's just baseball, you know?
Right.
And
He,
and then at the end, Matt Damon kind of looks at him and goes, but man, you missed the game. And he goes, yeah, I know. I really wish I'd seen the game.
yeah, and then at
And of
the end of
course,
the movie, the last line of the movie is him driving away, saying, "I got to see about a girl."
yes, yes, yes. It's a wonderful movie, and it's all tied together around a baseball moment, which is
I,
really cool.
I tell you what, that is one of the best movies. That is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like that is absolutely classic.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Robin will. I mean, listen, that was the launching of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and that set off a whole thing too. But Robin Williams in that movie, who was one of the funniest men to ever walk the earth, shows you that a great comedian can be one of the best dramatic actors, and he did it many times in his career. But that was the pinnacle for me.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a serious movie if he has a beard. That's
Yes,
what you know off.
exactly.
If he doesn't
Yeah,
have a
like Patch
beard,
Adams.
yeah, if he doesn't have a beard, then it's going to be a comedy.
That's right. So funny, man, and astute. That's a great observation.
But yes, I love the movie. I love his description of the game, and it is one of those most iconic games ever.
Yes, and I will say that was number 4 on my list. Jordan, did it make yours?
That was my number 2.
Love it. So we had a 4, a 2, and an 8. This is awesome. And I want to, hey, one last thing about that game before we move on, unless Jordan has anything. I just wanted to give a little kind of going through the game synopsis of how this went very briefly. It was 3-0 Boston after 1, just how we got to that home run, 3-1 Boston after 1. And by the way, I don't remember Gary Nolan, the starter for the Reds. That's not a name I was familiar with. He started the game for the Reds, but we certainly just talked about Louis Tiant, the guy who started for the Red Sox, and he was the starter. So you have Boston 3-0 after 1. It's 3-3 at the top of the 5th. After the top of the 5th, I mean. 5-3 after the top of the 7th, 6-3 after the top of the 8th, and then 6-6 after 8, and that leads to the end, the 12th inning dramatics with Carlton Fisk. So that game was all over the place. They had a 3-0 lead with an all-time great pitcher, Louis Tiant, on the mound, and they got back to 3-3. The Reds did. So, yeah,
Yep.
good game other than just the iconic moment, too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Anything else from that on that one from you, Jordan? Should I go to my number 8?
Um. Yeah, you can go to your number 8.
Okay.
Jordan, real quick, have you ever seen Goodwill Hunting?
I have not, but I will go check it out tonight.
You definitely need to because regardless of the baseball, it is just a great movie. Regardless,
All
It
right.
is.
Yeah, I'll definitely
It,
have to check it out.
100%. And in fact, I mean, man, I'm gonna have to watch it again now after all this talking about it, because I watched that one scene, but now I need to see the whole movie again.
and if you're a crier, bring your tissues.
Oh, for real, it is heavy, man. It is a good
um.
one. It is a good one, man. It is not light fare, and it is awesome.
Okay, then
Yeah.
I'll buy 5 boxes. Yeah, at Target.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Uh,
All right. So my number 8, and this is the one I was referencing that ended on the 10th of October. I'm going in the Wayback Machine, and one of the headlines I found for this is Walter finally gets his win, and that is the Washington Senators versus the New York Giants, Game 7, 1924, 4-3 Washington in 12 innings, and Walter Johnson finally gets his World Series, and he didn't start the game. He pitched the last 4 innings in relief.
Wow.
wow.
Yes. Yep. 4 shutout innings in relief. He was 0-2 in that World Series leading up to that game. And he had given up, I think, did I write it down? Yeah. Okay. So Walter Johnson had pitched 12 innings in game 1.
Jesus.
You heard me right. 12 innings in game 1. Gave up 3 earned runs, 4 runs, 3 earned, and had 12 strikeouts. Lost the game. Game 5, he pitched 8 runs, gave up 4 earned. All right. So he's pitched 20 innings in 2 games. And he's not supposed to pitch in game 7 at all. And he comes in for the last 4, pitches innings 9 through 12, 0 runs, 5 strikeouts. Let's go. Hall of Famer, all time greatest.
Yep. I think he was my number one all time.
He was both of ours for sure. I can't remember Jordan where Jordan had
No,
him.
yeah, he was all three.
Right on. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the Walter Johnson game, and and by the way, it's also another neat factor about this game is it's the longest by innings game 7 ever in World Series history.
Really?
Really?
Oh.
Yep.
Did not know that.
Uh sorry guys, go ahead. Yeah, that was just a couple interesting facts.
But just
Yeah.
to, no, I was gonna say just to have Walter Johnson pitch what you said 4 innings?
Yeah, yep. He pitched
Yeah,
innings 9 through 12.
usually you don't see that anymore. Usually if they're bringing a starter in, it's usually to close out the game or to win the World Series just because. But wow, 4 innings.
Isn't
Yeah,
that amazing?
that's incredible.
Yeah, and I don't think you'll find an example. You're not going to find an example like that anyway, like you just said. But certainly not after already having pitched 20 innings in that World Series.
Yeah, like yeah, that's insane.
Two
Yeah.
more little tidbits about that one. Another thing that made this a great game, aside from the Walter Johnson and the extra inning thing, the Giants led 3-1 entering the bottom of the ninth. The bottom of the eighth. Sorry, the bottom of the eighth. So the Senators had to scrape back and tie it just to get Walter Johnson's performance to matter.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Hack Wilson was on that Giants team.
Oh, Hack Wilson, one of the great names ever. The RBI king, right?
Yeah. He had 183 RBIs in one
Man,
season. I think it's something like that. I'm not entirely sure on the exact number, but he's got the RBI record for one season.
another one that I have a hard time seeing being broken. I mean, it's possible, but I have a real hard. I mean, we've seen some unbelievable seasons since then, and nobody's even come close.
Not really. No. Even on Judge's best year, I think he has like 140.
Yeah, and he's a monster. And it's like, man, how did that guy get 109 or whatever it was, 180 plus RBIs? Whoo! And then my last little tidbit about this one, interesting thing to me was the first ever presidential first pitch in a World Series was in this World Series. Calvin Coolidge.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Ha! How about that?
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Trying to
Nice.
see. You know what though? That Nationals team, besides the pitching of Walter Johnson, there's not a lot of like all-time greats on this team. I'm looking at
Yeah.
the box score right now. I don't recognize almost anybody.
Well, you know what's crazy is there's a judge on the team,
Yeah, Joe Judge.
Joe Judge. I mean, if
Yeah.
no. They have my Marbury. Remember Furpo Marbury that I brought up the
Yes.
he's on this team.
Yes, he is Purpo.
We got Furpo, baby. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, like Sam Rice, I think I've heard of. Goose Goslin, maybe,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but not. But most of these guys, I've never heard of them.
it's certainly not a Yankees like Murderers Row or some famous iconic old school team. You're
I'll tell you
right,
what.
absolutely.
Looking at the Giants, other than Hack Wilson, I never heard of them either.
Frankie Frisch, I know is that Frankie? Am I making that
Yeah,
up? Or
Frankie Frisch.
Freddie? Yeah, Frankie Frisch is a kind of a legendary guy. Um,
Uh,
Gowdy. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the announcer.
yeah.
I'm thinking of Kirk Gowdy.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, there's probably some guys we're not that we maybe we should know that we don't, but not massive names jumping off the page. That's for sure.
Right.
Because
Right.
some of these ones, then one that in particular that I wrote some names down about later, have teams that have like 6 Hall of Famers in their batting lineup.
Right. Exactly. I
Yeah.
was gonna think that. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm with you, man. Great. That's cool. You pointed that out. I didn't think about that doing the research on this one. Good call. All right, there's my number 8.
All right. Well, good pick. I like that one. That was
Thanks,
really
man.
interesting. All right. So my number 7, um, it is kind of low, but I'm gonna put it anyway. Is Game 7. Uh, another walk-off home run, which is Bill Mazeroski's Game 7 home run.
Yes.
I think I know where Craig has that one.
I had no. I don't. I had this one number 5.
Oh, interesting. The way you set it up earlier, I thought for sure that was going to pop one ahead of Joe Carter because of being Game 7. Nice. Right on. Right on.
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah, where do I have this? I have it. Where did you have it, Craig?
Number 5.
Well, you and I can't believe we got one on the same number. That's my number 5 as well.
Yeah. And that's the Giants win the pennant, right? Is, is that Giants
Mm,
win when the announcer
no,
goes Giants? No, it's not Giants.
that's
No.
different. Yeah, because that was clinching to go to the World
Right.
Series.
Right. Never mind. I'm sorry.
No. That's all right. That's one of the that
Oh,
might
that
be
shot
the
heard around the world. That's what
that
that
shot heard
was.
around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
you're talking about might be the greatest home run call of all time for
Yeah.
pure excitement.
Giants win the pennant. Giants win the pennant.
If he had done that during a presidential race, he would have been laughed off the circuit like that one guy 20 years ago. But but it was an awesome call, man. Yeah, Mazeroski though, man. This Game 7, yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. Go for it.
Yeah, just like you said, it was just a really great game. It was it was against the New York Yankees, which they had a great team back then. Um,
Heck yeah.
and to have Bill Mazeroski hit the walk-off home run to end up beating the New York Yankees and winning the World Series. Um,
I think that was the first time, right, that they ever beat him.
I think so. Um,
I'm not sure off the top of my head, Craig, but it wouldn't surprise me.
yeah, but yeah, it was just an amazing uh, game. It was an amazing moment as well. We've had a couple walk-offs, but it's just how like everything was going on with the Pirates and just the Yankees. Like I mentioned, had what Berra and Mantle and
Yep, all
you know
those guys.
yeah, and just an incredible team, and just for them to go on and end up beating the New York Yankees, it's just and it's still I think it's still shown to this day when every time the World Series comes up, like they do that little video package at the beginning of Game 1, that
Oh, yeah.
play is still there.
Yep, yes, it is, and it deserves to be there. I mean,
No
it's
doubt.
called the shot heard round the world
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah,
No doubt, man. No doubt. And by the way, I looked it up and I wouldn't have guessed this, Craig, but this was actually the third time the Pirates beat them. They won in '03. They beat the Yankees specifically 3 times, '03, 27, and 60.
Okay, still that's only well, yeah. I wonder how many times the Yankees beat them. I thought it was significant because I thought the Yankees beat them a lot.
They
But
wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if
I
you
could
if
be
you
wrong.
get to the World Series a lot, then you certainly got beat by the Yankees a lot.
Right. I mean, still,
yeah.
yeah, you can beat them 3 times. It took them 60 years to beat them 3 times.
Right, exactly. Oh, that's great, man. That's great. Yeah. Oh, and I found a couple little tidbits about this game, if you don't mind. The announcers, first of all. Now, Bob Prince, I remember the name, but I don't really know. I mean, he's not a guy that's in my mind. You know what I mean? Other than maybe I've heard his calls and didn't know his name. But the iconic name that was on the call in that World Series in this game in particular, Mel Allen.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Mel Allen, Twib notes, baby. And here's the other thing that I found that was so fascinating to me. Do you know there if you look this game up and there is a full television broadcast that looks good that you can find. It's aired on MLB at times. You can find it online. Have either of you ever heard the reason that this exists? Because that's rare from that era. I
That
never
what
heard this.
that what exists?
The semi pristine full game broadcast of Game 7, 1960.
Oh no, I never heard the story about it.
No.
Check this out. This blew my mind. This exists today because Pirates co-owner Bing Crosby. You guys know that name, the old entertainer
Oh
Bing
yeah,
Crosby?
I
Yep.
know Bing Crosby, White Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah, with David Bowie, right? And here's the rest of it. So, part owner Bing Crosby couldn't bring himself to watch the game on TV and instead listened to it on the radio in Paris. I think that might be another reason this might be known as the shot heard around the world. I'm guessing there. That might be wrong, but
Yeah.
maybe.
Yep.
And So he didn't have the nerve to watch the game, but he listened to it. But he wanted to see it, so he wanted a copy of the TV broadcast in case the Pirates won. So he hired a company to make a kinescope recording, which was an old school term for like the way they did movies back then.
Oh,
Wow.
so that's why the quality's so good.
Exactly. There's nothing else like it from that era.
Wow, that's
That's
cool.
in.
That's really
Yeah, that's
cool.
pretty cool.
Isn't that wild? I can't believe I had never heard that before, and I thought that was a cool little tidbit. Awesome.
No, that
That's
is
a
really
great one. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Oh, and I'm sorry. One last thing, real quick, because I almost forgot. I didn't want to bring this up because I knew this game was going to come up, and I didn't want to ruin any drama. But I wanted to bring it up since we got to this one because this game and the Joe Carter game are the only World Series walk-offs in history to end the World Series.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. Other games have ended, World Series games have ended with home runs, but never a series other than those two. And to add a wild little touch of irony, if you're into the weird wild stuff, Joe Carter was born the same year as Mazeroski's walk off, 1960.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, if you like that kind of thing, I'd go suggest buying a lottery ticket 1960.
Yep. And if you like that kind of thing, I'd also suggest you look up Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy.
Oh, okay, I love it.
Have you never heard of that?
I don't know it off the top of my head. I don't
Oh, okay.
think
At the end of the podcast, if you guys are interested, I'll go through it and I'll let you know.
I'm in. I'm
All
in.
right, cool. We'll put it at the
Yeah.
end for a little talk about irony, but we'll get to that later.
I'm so in. That's awesome. All right, so where are we? I lost track there. Who threw that one out?
I did. So it'll be Craig's number 7.
Okay.
All right. My number 7 is another game 7. We've mentioned this before, the pitching one, because it is the Jack Morris game.
Oh, and I'll just say real quick, Craig, this is my number 2.
Awesome.
Wow.
All of our number twos are gone.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. You're right.
Uh, I'll give you guys one better. That's my number 1.
Oh, I love it, man. Yeah, I don't blame you. This is my this is my favorite game, World Series game that I watched in the
Yeah, me
moment.
too. Me too. Uh, I mean, it's game 7. He pitches 10 innings, gives up 7 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 8 Ks. John Smoltz tried to match him and later said it was one of his best games he's ever pitched. And he went 7 1/3, no runs, 6 hits, 4 Ks, 1 walk, but only went 7 1/3, couldn't complete it. And Jack just kept going and pitched 10 innings, complete game win.
I was waiting for this one to come up. I was wondering if it would come up before number 2, and here it is. one of my favorite games of all time. Jack Morris will be a legend to me forever. Not, I mean, he was already known. He had that reputation before this as a bulldog, but my goodness, you do it like this in Game 7, and man, you are a legend forever, man. This is unbelievable game, absolutely unbelievable game.
Jack Morris was 4-0. I don't know if that's
Four
the
and
whole
zero.
postseason or the World Series.
He was 2-0 in the series. It must have been the postseason.
Okay,
Absolutely
so yeah, he was 4-0 in the postseason.
incredible, man. Incredible. That guy's a beast. He didn't make any of our top 10 all time guys, and nor should he have, based on just the cumulative career stats and everything. But if I had to start one postseason game tomorrow, I'm having a hard time. I mean, there's a ton of guys out there, but man, after watching that Jack Morris game, it's hard not to at least consider him real strongly. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, he's just etched in as an all-time legend forever now because of that game, and it's something that will never, ever, 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 ever happen again because they won't let pitchers do that.
Yeah, no
No.
shot. He threw 122 pitches in that game.
Yeah,
Yeah. No.
yep. And I did the same thing on my Yankees podcast, talking about last Saturday when Clark Schmidt left the game in the seventh inning and he had no hits, and then Yankee fans were going crazy. And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? He's not gonna. He had two more innings to go. He's not getting the no hitter is dying. There's no way. He had 101 pitches, and people were going crazy that he should have tried to get the no hitter.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no way he would have gone two more innings. No
Yeah.
chance.
No way. No
Yeah.
chance. I'm with you 100%.
And
Yeah.
101,
No.
I think, was the most pitches he ever threw in a game as it is.
Yeah. It had to be.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just not that.
I,
It's we're just not. It's not that type of game anymore,
well,
man. That's just
speaking
what
of the
it is.
no, you know what? I think people won't do it anymore because when Johan pitched the first no hitter for the New York Mets, he had what, over 120 something,
Yep. And then
and,
he got hurt, and he was
yeah,
complete
and so
garbage after that. Yep.
that's why people won't do it. Although I do say, I mean, but he is an old school guy. Bruce Bochy did almost uh, keep him in. DeGrom yesterday, he had like 80 pitches in the eighth inning when he lost his no hitter. So Bruce Bochy was going to keep DeGrom
Well,
in, but
I mean, it can happen. It's just going to be more rare because you're going
yeah,
to have something like that, 80 pitches in like the eighth inning. Yeah, then you could get
Exactly.
there. But you're not going 120 pitches.
no, but
100%.
no.
100%.
But
Yeah, man.
again,
Yep.
that's why it makes Jack Morris this game more memorable because one, you're never gonna have someone do that again. I don't think it's never gonna happen ever again. And yeah, it's just people are way too protective of the starting pitcher right now.
No doubt. And it's funny that like one Johan Santana no hitter with 120 whatever pitches, and he's never the same again. But how many pitchers that have followed the exact course that every modern team has set out for them? How many Tommy John surgeries have there been since Johan Santana?
Oh, yeah.
400, 500, 200. I don't know. They're all following the course. You
No,
know,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
oh,
Yeah,
but
injuries
one thing happens. They're like, oh, we
injuries.
can't do that ever again.
Yeah, injuries are more up than they've ever been. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just funny how people like point to that kind of thing and be like, "Oh, that's why we do this," but it's not helping.
Yeah.
right, right.
I
But
found one there was a Jack Morris and a couple of the other guys on that team who did a press conference, like a reunion sort of thing, I guess, in the last 5 or 10 years, and he was talking about the conversation because I wanted to dig into that conversation a little bit because it's famous that there was a conference in the dugout after the ninth inning, and then you hear varying accounts of what the conversation was between Tom Kelly, who I revere as a manager. I thought that guy was great, and um, and Jack Morris about whether he's going to stay in the game or not. Well, Morris broke it down at this reunion. The conversation went: Tom Kelly said, "Are you done?" Jack Morris said, "I thought you were smart. You ain't taking me out." And that was the end of the conversation.
that's
That
an awesome conversation. That's like the
And
best one I've
they
heard.
they had an outfielder at the time. The last thing I'll say about it, they had an outfielder at the time named Randy Bush, who his quote cracked me up. He said, "I want to know one thing: who was going to take him out of the game? Who would have the courage to say, 'Jack, you're done'? I don't think anyone would have done it. If it was Tom Kelly, Jack would have punched him, kicked him. He might have killed him."
Oh man. Oh, yeah, because you can't take him out of that game.
No.
Like I know you're trying to save him,
Well,
and
yeah, save him for what though? It's game 7.
yeah, I know, but like also for next year, because I think this was I could be getting my years wrong, but wasn't he a free agent right after?
Nah, I'm not sure on.
Not
I think
sure.
I want to say I think I remember him saying something. He was a free agent, so like one, you don't want to be put on blame. Like, yo, we signed this guy, and you're at fault because you made him pitch 120 pitches. But that, like, yeah, you can't take him out though because he's been pitching so well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Smokes didn't go on and end up pitching a 10th inning frame, but I guess maybe they didn't want him to,
Well,
and
this was earlier in Smoltz's career, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
he
They
was real
probably,
young.
yeah, he was young, so they probably didn't want to push him too much because he's, of his age.
which right makes sense.
He probably was at 100 pitchers or so, or maybe even a little over.
I would assume so because absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
That's yeah. That oh man, I'm so glad we got to talk about this one. I just see Jack Morris. Like Jack Morris just looked like he just always looked pissed. You know what
Yep.
I mean? Like he was just I'd sooner kick your ass than talk to you. You know what I
Yep.
mean? He just
With
had
the
that
gr-
look about him.
with the great full mustache, the whole Tom Selleck.
Yeah, totally,
Yep,
man, totally. Yes, I love it.
yep,
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome. Good
Just
stuff, man.
yeah, I think it's definitely probably one of the best World Series games to ever be played, and I'm so
Yes.
glad that I think I've seen this game because I've told you guys a couple times. They show old games. I think I've seen this like hundreds of times. Just, and I think it's like, I swear, I think it's like one of the things that I like. I watch every game start to finish, and I think this. I think I put my phone on do not disturb just to watch this game.
I love it. I love it. That's so awesome, man. That is so awesome. Oh, and hey, I want, if you don't mind, I'm going to throw out an honorable mention. Does anybody else have another game from this World Series on their list?
I don't.
I
Okay.
do actually.
Oh, then I'm not going to bring it up. All right. I'll save it just in case. All
Okay,
right.
okay.
So was that
That
Craig's
was
number 7?
that was my number 7.
Okay. Well, here we go then. We are going to the mid 60s. This is Dodgers versus Minnesota Twins, and it is Sandy Koufax wins Game 7.
Oh yeah, not on my
Now,
list.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jordan. Was he on your list or this one on your list?
Uh, hold on. No,
Okay.
no.
So I wanted to get something with Koufax on this list for sure, but I wasn't sure where. And this one was easy once you looked at it for me because Sandy. It was Game 7. First of all, he pitches a complete game shutout, gives up 3 hits, 3 walks, and strikes out 10. I
Jeez.
mean, the guy. Come on, Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
What year was it?
Wait, I have. It's 1965. What did I say? Did I invert it in
I
my
think you said
brain?
1960.
Okay, my bad. So yeah, it is October 14th, 1965, Dodgers Twins, and it is the Minnesota Twins at that point. I was doubting myself for a second. And it was Koufax versus Jim Cott, or
Oh yeah,
Cat, however you say it.
yeah.
Well,
Jim
yeah.
Cott,
Wow.
Yeah, who
Kitty.
was like, he was super young at the time. Because I saw, it blew my mind, Craig, because I remember watching Jim Cat pitch. And he also pitched Game 7 of a World Series in 1965, and I wasn't born until 74. So
Wow. Yeah, I remember. Well, he went to the Yankees broadcast booth later, after his career, and I
I didn't
remember
realize that.
calling a lot of Yankee games.
I didn't know that, Craig.
Yeah, they called him Kitty.
I Is it cat or cot?
Yeah, I always thought it was Cot.
Okay, that's yeah. He was a great
That's
pitcher.
how that's
Go ahead, Jordan, please.
no, I was say that's how I've heard everyone pronounce it was caught.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Yep.
and I like to say I think he was Jamie Moore before Jamie Moore. Uh,
Oh, oh, perfect, Jordan. That's perfect.
Oh, Jim Cott only went 3 innings.
Yeah, he gave up 2 runs early and was out, and then their bullpen settled down.
Yeah. Koufax 9 innings, three hits, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts. Jeez.
I mean, just a dominant Game 7 pitching performance. From one of the all-time icons.
Yeah, not just an
And
all-time
by the
great
way,
icon.
Harmon Killebrew is in that lineup, which is no joke. Tony Oliva is in that lineup, which is no joke. There's a couple. I don't. There's not a lot of other names I know, but those two alone are enough to not get through many games with a shutout.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the lineups right now. Yeah, you're right. There's not a whole lot, but you definitely are going to recognize those guys, especially Killebrew.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big one. Yeah, and Oliva was a guy I had a little bit of a thing for. I don't remember how he ended up in his whole career, but I know he was good for a long time.
Oh yeah, he lasted a while too. I think he played. That was pretty early in his career too.
Yeah, he ended up. He ended up playing until. Oh my goodness, he played for the Twins from 62 to 76, from age 24 to age 38.
Gee,
wow.
nice.
Nice.
So anyway, that's my number 7, Sandy Koufax. I know we all have a thing with Koufax, and I just wanted to get him on there somewhere if I could find a way, and that was it.
No, that's a
Yeah,
good
that's the best
mention.
way. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Jordan.
All right, what is with number 6 now?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. All right. Well, this one should have been in my top 5, but it's not. So I apologize to any players. But probably one of the greatest at bat in World Series history. I'm going game 1, A's versus Dodgers. Dan Eckersley versus Kurt Gibson, walk-off home run.
That is my number 3.
That is my number 4.
Love it.
Um, yeah, number 1, like I said, probably one of the greatest at bats um, of all time. Dan Eckersley, Kurt Gibson, who I think it had every single thing wrong with him. Because you watch the game, he's limping, he's, you know, uh, people were saying like he can't play, he can't, not gonna be able to do this, not gonna be able to do that, and sure enough, game 1 of the World Series, he comes up to pitch hit and hits I believe it was 3-2 slider out of the ballpark to win game 1.
Great call, absolutely. And to tie Craig to tie into our post baseball discussion today that you were mentioning. Here's another thing to go into that. I was watching the entire at bat over and over again on YouTube, and I I noticed something I never thought about before. Right before he hits a home run, and I mean before X first pitch of the at bat. Okay, not right before the home run, but the first pitch of the at bat. They pop up one of the little stats on the screen that says Dennis Eckersley has not allowed a home run since August 24th.
And that was the death nail right there.
Boom! That was the end of it. That was the end of it. They could have just walked it out to and tossed it over the outfield wall after that came up. Oh man.
Well,
And the way the at bat went, I thought was amazing too, because as Jordan said, it is one of the most incredible at bats in baseball history. It was 0-2. And then he fouled off a couple of pitches after being 0-2.
Yeah,
Then
tried
it's
to
one.
run and he couldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Then it went 1-2. Another foul ball. Then it went 2-2. Then it went 3-2. Now, a guy named Mike Davis, who I barely remember at all, was on first base during all this. He then steals second.
Yep.
Well, and then 3-2, he calls timeout right before, as Jordan said, that slider gets parked over the right field fence. So
And this was
unbelievable.
peak Dennis Eckersley, peak powers. He was the most dominant reliever for like a 5 year stretch, and he was right in the middle of that.
Yep.
And they were such heavy favorites because they had McGuire, Canseco, Eckersley, Walt Weiss was the rookie of the year.
Yeah. I think
Um,
Ricky was Ricky on that team?
I think Ricky might have been on that team as well. And
Yes, he was.
Dave
and just
was Dave Stewart on that team?
yeah, I'm assuming
Dave Parker, Carney Lansford.
Dave Stewart
Wow.
must have been on that team.
He was. I think he pitched that. No, he did not pitch that game. Yes, he did. He started that game. He went 8 innings
Oh,
and gave up 3 runs.
Yep. I tell you, Dave Stewart also very underrated.
I agree.
But
yes.
um, yeah, just the fact that this was Kirk Gibson's only at bat, and he almost won MVP of the series.
Yeah, right, right.
How is that possible?
Yes.
Just
Oh
because
man.
I would say it's such an iconic moment that it
Well,
literally,
yeah, yeah, it effectively won the World Series.
yeah.
Yeah, it put them on their heels, man, and that was it. Changed every because they were. I mean, the A's were heavy favorites. Heavy favorites.
Yep, and then that
Right. Yep.
happens, and they cannot recover.
No dice. No dice. And by the way, just because he's in this game, I love any opportunity to bring up Steve Sachs,
Yes, I love Steve Sachs.
who was just a heck of a player. He ended up getting the yips with the Yankees, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, late in his career, he was good for us for a couple years, but then yeah,
But he was a heck of a player, though, man, and for a long time. Mike Scioscia was on that Dodger team.
I
yes,
forgot Mike Sosa was a player.
Yeah, right. Some people become so iconic as managers or just known as that
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, man.
Wasn't that also the one where Tommy not LaRussa, Lasorda did that famous thing at no, wait, I'm thinking of a different team.
you're thinking of the All Star game when he flopped over.
No, I'm thinking of the thing they did when they celebrated, and he goes, "No one ever thought we will beat a team that won 104 games," and he's like, "But we believed it," and he gets flooded with champagne.
Oh,
Oh
it might
yes, I
have been
remember
that
that.
one. It might have been that.
I
It
want
was
to
either
say,
that or when they won the World Series a couple games later. Yeah, it had to be one of those two, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's either one, but still,
That's awesome.
it's just an iconic, like you said, it's iconic at bat. It's an iconic uh thing where it's just relived. I mean, it was even mentioned what years later when Freddie Freeman hit the walk off home run
Oh,
last year. You know,
yep,
it's
Yeah,
just
well, there's another
it,
one of those things that gets meant. When you see the montage before Game One of the World Series, that's in there. Bill Mazeroski's in there. Carlton Fisk is in there. All that stuff is in there, and this is right there with him.
absolutely, man. It is. It is. It was one of the biggest moments again that I watched in the moment that I was watching live television. I was a. It was like a punch. It's one of my favorite moments ever now. But it was a punch in the gut to me at the time because I was a big fan of that A's team.
Me
Excuse me.
too. Me
Were you,
too. I
Craig?
was thinking the A's were going to kill him.
Oh man, in fact, I think if I kind of remember going off on some tangent about to whoever I was in the room with at the time, and about how they don't have anything to worry about. The A's are gonna kill them, blah blah blah, and then that home run happened, and boom, they go down with a whimper.
Yeah, they never recovered from that one.
Nope, nope. Yeah, that was awesome. And yeah, and just you can't overstate the injury factor with Kirk Gibson. He had the bad hammy on one
That was
leg.
his
He had
only. That was his only at bat, right?
Yep,
The whole
yep. It was a
series.
pinch hit,
Yep.
bad hammy, bruised knee.
And wasn't he the
Watch him try
MVP of
and
the?
run the bases.
And
I
wasn't
mean,
he the MVP of the regular season?
I don't think so. I don't think he. I don't remember that, but I could be wrong.
Let's see
MVP.
here. 19. He will be MVP. Let's
Oh, it
see.
was Kirk Gibson. My bad. Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he had a great year. That's why I thought they were definitely going to kill him because their best player wasn't playing.
Yeah,
That's amazing. I forgot that he won the MVP that year.
that's very interesting.
This is also the same year of the 59 scoreless innings by Earl Hershiser, who was the MVP of the World Series.
Holy crap, that's right, man.
59 scoreless innings, straight scoreless innings.
And that's one of those that could be done, but I wouldn't bet on it ever.
No, that's a lot of games. That's a lot of innings.
He actually played 150 games that year.
Who, Gibson?
Gibson, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
He only played over 150 games twice in his entire career, and that was one of the years, and he won the MVP.
yep. And then
Wow.
he couldn't play in the World Series. So I'm like, the MVP is not playing. There would have been favorites anyway, even if he was playing. There's no chance that they're going to beat the A's.
Man, that's amazing. And by the way, if you look at him try and run, well, we know he was injured, but you look at him try and run, would anybody that didn't watch him during that season guess that that man stole 31 bases that year?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
he did.
31 bases, got caught 4 times. That's a smart base runner.
And he definitely didn't have blazing speed.
No, and he stole 29, 30, 34, 26, 31 bases from 84 to 88.
Yeah, he was a good player. He's underrated.
Big time. If he's in the Jim Edmonds category of easy Hall of Famer if they had been healthy.
I totally agree. And this also has one of the iconic calls of all time too.
Oh, was it Scully
It
or
was
which one?
no, it was Joe Buck.
Joe Buck. Duh, duh, duh. Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
don't believe what I just saw.
oh yeah, I always forget about that because I always hear the Vince Scully version.
Right, but that was Joe Buck.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
man,
He also
that's
Joe
awesome.
Buck had a lot. I mean, he also had the Minnesota one. We'll see
Yeah,
it.
and you
We'll
know,
see it tomorrow night.
yes, and a lot of the Joe Buck ones were on the radio, so they become famous after the fact.
Yeah, so good.
He's so good, man. I wish if I had known, I didn't understand things back then. I didn't know how things work, so I didn't know I could just turn on my radio and flip around channels and find him calling the World Series instead of watching it on TV. Or listen, watching it, and then because what I did with the Phillies for years was I would watch the game on TV and I would follow Harry Kalas and Richie Ashburn. They would do innings 1 through 3 on TV, 4 through 6 on radio, 7 through 9, or the rest of the game back on TV. And I couldn't even tell you who the other announcers were because I just listened to Whitey and Harry.
That's awesome.
Yeah, love
That's
that.
pretty awesome.
Cool, good stuff, man. Anything else on that game from anybody? That's all I have. That's freaking awesome.
No, I
Yeah,
think we.
I'm good.
Yeah, I am too. I think we covered
So
good,
whose was that and
all of
what
it.
number?
That was
I
me.
still
That
have a
was
number
my
6
number.
left. Is it me
Oh
number
crap! What
6
number
or
was that? Six.
Craig
Yeah, it
at
was
number
number
6?
six. Yeah, so Craig's number six.
So wait, it was your number 6, Jordan?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was my number
Okay,
six.
yeah, because my number 6. Okay, my number 6 is Game 6, 1977.
Oh,
Clinches the World Series, and it is Reggie Jackson, 3 home runs on 3 swings. And I think it was 3 pitches.
it was. It
Wow.
was. It was 3 home runs, 3 pitches, 3 different pitchers.
That
Yeah, and it was the first pitch of every single one. That's what's That's the craziest thing about it to me.
Yeah.
It was the first pitch of all 3 at bats right in a row.
Insane, man. This is the ultimate iconic Mr. October. By the way, on a very crazy all over the place list, we now have 2 that we had exactly the same. This is my number 6.
Chambliss also home run in that hit a home run in that one, but that clinched the World Series Game 6, and yeah. And another one of those things that you see a lot of. You see Reggie hitting those home runs a lot, and usually they put them all three, like one right after another, in just really quick clips of just the swings.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Jordan, was this one on your list?
This was actually an honorable mention of mine.
Oh,
I
Oh, did we lose
could not.
Jordan?
Oh, can you hear me? Hello?
Oh,
I,
I see he's oh, did I hear you?
no, that's me.
Well, let's continue and Jordan, just holler when you're back.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah. But anyway, yeah, Reggie number 6, and it's cool that you also had it as number 6, and it's the Mister October game, absolutely.
Man, I love it, dude. This is awesome. I have a couple notes about this one, man. So we talked about the three different pitchers and pitches, and he hit it on the fourth. He hit it off Bert Hooton, one of my favorite old names. In the fifth, he hit it off Elias Sosa. I have to be honest, I don't remember Elias or Elias.
Yeah, I don't
And
either.
and then here's a name you'll know for sure, Craig, and Jordan will too, of course, because he's Jordan. But I would never have guessed he was involved in this. I didn't remember it. The eighth inning home run, the third, was off Charlie Huff and his knuckleball.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
how about that?
that guy's eternal. He never stopped pitching. I think he's pitching somewhere right now,
Yes, yes, for
like a great
sure. He was.
grapefruit game or something.
I think he was like one of the first signings or a draft pick of the Florida Marlins when they became a team in the early '90s, and he's throwing Mister October's third home run in '77. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you're a knuckleball pitcher. You don't ever have to retire.
Oh, that's exactly right, man. That's exactly right. I got a couple quotes on this one too. Reggie, who I pulled up, we're going to run some Reggie quotes then too, because man, we didn't do that when we talked about our top 10 outfielder or 20 outfielders of all time. But boy, I found some good ones. But the post game one and this one was the one I've heard a lot. Not the straw that stirs the drink, which maybe is most iconic one, but this is love me or hate me, but you can't ignore me.
Yes, that's a great one. Did he say something about I didn't come to New York to become a star. I brought my star with me.
Yeah, that's right. Totally, man. Totally. Yes. Oh, man. He also said, and he just had this way of saying things that just came off so cocky. But if Reggie is so bright, he's such an intelligent man. If you listen to that guy talk, he is very smart. And he just the media didn't like him a whole lot, and they would but he also said things like this that fed into it, which is great. He said, I felt like I was running on clouds. Certainly one of my greatest moments.
Certainly one of my greatest moments.
Now I have a whole page of quotes about Reggie. Did Jordan rejoin us yet? Okay.
I don't know. I don't. I still see him like he's there on there, but I don't hear him.
I don't see him like he's there
Oh wait,
anymore,
no,
but
now I don't anymore. He's gone. I don't know how this is going to work because he's got to turn this off. This is his podcast.
yeah.
Well,
Well, I
let's
guess
just
we
keep
should
going.
just keep going. Like
Yeah.
it's going to be cool. And then hopefully Jordan will I see something's trying to load. I guess that's him trying to get back in. Hopefully we'll be cool. But we'll just continue with some Reggie quotes and keep on trucking. So, oh, here, and you gotta love Reggie. Here we go. After Jackie Robinson, the most important black in baseball history is Reggie Jackson. I really mean that. Oh man, he is a gem. Um,
And
oh,
Reggie
this is
kept his power for a long time. I remember, like he
was a
went to
monster.
a Yankees all old timers game, and he parked one in the right field seats. Like he still could reach the seats
Man,
as an old
he
timer.
and he was a big, muscly guy in an era when that was not as common. You know what I mean? He was
Yep.
a little bit ahead of the curve. There was always exceptions throughout history, but he was one of the he was kind of leading the charge into the Bash. He almost fit into that Bash Brothers team, because he played towards he was playing for the A's a little before that, like '84. I want to say he was winding down his career.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And don't forget, he was also a Naked Gun.
Oh yes. Yeah. He was programmed, right?
Yeah, he had the watch on, and he was going to kill the queen.
Oh man, oh I love it. So here's a couple other more Reggie quotes. Uh, for a certain amount of money, you'll eat Alpo, which is all dog food to anybody young that doesn't remember the Alpo. Guys who play there in Japan, he was referring to, say it gets awful lonely. Hell, for the money they're taking over there, I can buy some friends and take them with me. Oh man, talking about the baseball, he said, "God, do I love to hit that little round son of a bitch out of the park and make him say wow." Oh man, and this is if you know the relationship, and I know you do, Craig, between him and Billy Martin.
Yeah, oh yeah. Contentious is all hell.
Abso-freaking-lutely. This was a quote while he was playing for the A's before he signed with the Yankees. "I hate Billy Martin because he plays tough, but if I played for him, I'd probably love him." Famous last words, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And then yeah, and George Steinbrenner, yeah, and Billy and that whole 77 team. I think there's a movie about it actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there is.
I didn't know that. Awesome.
But yeah, that whole 77 team, there was a lot going on there. That was right during uh what you call the killer, the that was in New York, Son of Sam.
Oh, sure. Oh, dude. Yes. With Adrian Brody.
Right, but it was during that whole time. That was yeah, Son of Sam was going on. The cocaine problem, the crime problem in New York was all going on there.
Power outages, heat
Yeah,
waves. Man, that's awesome. Yeah, good call. Good call. Wow, I love it. And I have one last quote, and this is Reggie about Nolan Ryan. "You don't face Nolan Ryan without your rest. He's the only guy I go against that makes me go to bed before midnight."
really.
I thought that was great. So yeah, man, Reggie, man, and Mr. October. We mentioned Mr. November earlier. There's only a November because there was a Mr. October.
Absolutely, Mr. October can never be replaced. That's why you got to be Mr. November. Okay,
No
so
doubt.
we have an update and a problem. Jordan cannot get back in.
Now, should we end it here and try and start over with him and put the two pieces together, or what do you think?
Yeah, we could do like a part one and part two.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because we're like halfway well, we're more than halfway through because we got a lot of duplicates.
Yep,
But what was that? That was my number six, right?
correct. Which was also my number 6, which will lead us to Jordan's number 5 if he has one still.
Okay, so why don't we get off and we'll see if Jordan can get us back on and we'll do a part two. I'm gonna let him know.
Sounds good, and we'll reconvene shortly, listeners. We'll see you on part 2. Thanks, Craig. Talk to you in a sec.
Talk to you in a minute. Okay.